wait for a few minutes because there were a few parents that came in late on 12:30 and I just don't want to have somebody miss the beginning.
Welcome to the third grade program of Mary Poppins. There was trouble in the Banks household at number 17 Cherry Tree Lane in London. Mrs. Banks was terribly upset and Mr. Banks was furious. It was all because the nursemaid was quitting her job. She was the sixth nanny to leave in 4 months. Jane and Michael, the children, were very sorry about all the fuss. They wrote a letter to the newspaper to help their father find them a new nanny, just the kind they wanted. Now that wasn't the kind of nursemaid that Mr. Banks had in mind at all. Angrily, he tore up the letter and threw it into the fireplace. But mysteriously and magically, the little bits of paper flew up the chimney into the night sky and put themselves together again. The next morning, who should come sailing along the east wind with a green umbrella in one hand and a children's letter in the other, but just exactly the person the children had asked for. She landed right at the door number 17, marched in, presented herself to Mr. Banks, and engaged herself to be the new nanny.
My name's Shantel, says Mary Poppins. Jane and Michael were delighted. They were a little surprised when she slid up the banister to the second floor. They were even more surprised when she unpacked everything from a mirror to a lamp out of a carpet bag that appeared to be empty. But when she sang a little song, the whole nursery straightened up itself. They couldn't believe their eyes. The next morning, who should come sailing along on the east wind with a green umbrella in her hand and the children's letter in the other. But
was a wonderful, magical thing to see the beds making themselves, the toys putting themselves away. Oh, will you stay, won't you, Mary Poppins, the children begged. I'll stay until the wind changes, she told them. Now on with your coats, we're off to an outing in the park.
There they found Brent, who seemed to be an old friend of Mary Poppins. Brent could do great many things. Sometimes he was a musician and sometimes a cherry sweep or a kite sailor. But this morning he was drawing pictures in colored chalk on the sidewalk. He was delighted to see Mary Poppins. He knew that when she turned up there would be magic and fun, and you might find yourself in places of which you never dreamed.
Let's have a holiday inside one of my pictures, Bert suggested. So he took the children's hands and they all jumped, but nothing happened until Mary Poppins said of Sample, 1, 2, 3, and there they were right inside a picture of an English countryside with a little country fair down the road.
What a glorious day it was. After dancing and tea, they got on a merry-go-round, and the wooden horses pranced right off into a fox hunt. Finally, they found themselves in the middle of a horse race. And who do you think won? Why, Mary Poppins, of course.
When the newspaper reporters were taking her picture, one of them said, there probably isn't a word that can describe your happy feelings at winning this race. But Mary Poppins answered, there probably isn't a good word.
Best days must end, and when it started raining, they found themselves back on sidewalk in London again. The beautiful drawings were nothing but colorful puddles. One evening, Mary Poppins suggested to Mr. Banks that he take the children on a visit to the bank where he worked. At bedtime, she told him that on their way they would pass St. Paul's Cathedral.
On the steps, they see the old bird woman selling her bags of crumbs for 2 pennies or 10 pence to feed the birds. Sure enough, in the morning, when they passed the steps, there sat the bird woman.
Feed
wanted his pen from his money box to buy some crumbs, but Mr. Banks said, "No, Michael, when we get to the bank, I'll show you what can be done with your tuppence to earn money."
Jane and Michael didn't like the stuffy dark bank or the bankers at all. When the children made a commotion and ran away, Mr. Banks was in disgrace.
Bert was working in a chimney sweep that day and found Jane and Michael in a London alley. When they explained to him what had happened, Bert said, "Now look at it this way. There's your father, inside that bank, day after day. You've got Mother and Mary Poppins to look after you, but who looks after your father? Tell me that." I think he could use a bit of help, so Bert took them home and began sweeping their chimney, singing as he worked.